Hello everyone, I'm Mark Gabberty, the teenager entrepreneur, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 social media tips for entrepreneurs. Social media is a very powerful tool to promote yourself and get more exposure, but there are many business owners using social media that aren't quite getting the results that they're looking for. So I'm going to provide you with these 10 tips so you can get better results from your social media strategy. If you want to be successful on social media, then you must specifically focus on your target audience. Now, there are 3 different types of audiences, and there are people who understand the difference between fake followers and real followers because those are 2 of the audiences. But the third type of audience, which not as many people get, is the targeted audience. And they don't really focus on this as much. Many people just go on something like Twitter audit, and then they see if they have a certain percentage of real or fake followers, and if they have real followers, it's good. But in order for you to dominate the social network you're on, those real followers must also be targeted. So you have to ask yourself, who are the people that make up your target audience? What is it that they do? If you're sending out tweets, Facebook posts about social media, then your target audience is people who want to learn more about social media. If you post stuff about sports and sports advice, then your target audience is people who are looking for that advice in sports. The second tip is to engage with your audience. By engaging with your audience, you get a better idea of who the people in your audience are and what they want. Because people in your audience will occasionally ask you questions about how certain things work. And you can use these questions to inspire the next product that you create. So the 3 ways you can interact with your audience are through mentioning them on social media, private messaging them, which means only you and that person get to see the message, and through email. Out of all 3 of these options, email is the best way to interact with someone because that's when the relationship really builds and the conversations get a lot longer. But any type of interaction, as long as it is meaningful interaction, is good interaction. So whether you get a mention on Twitter that is 140 characters or an email from someone that's 500 words, that allows a conversation to build, and then that can lead to people either asking questions, which can help you create products, or promoting your blog posts and products to their audiences as well. When it comes to building brand recognition on social media, it is very important for people to see your content on their feed for as often as possible. So what I do is I use Hootsuite's bulk scheduler to literally schedule 1 tweet every 15 minutes. So I schedule over 100 tweets, and with the bulk scheduler, it just takes me 6 clicks to schedule all of those tweets. But I understand that out of all the tweets I schedule, some of my tweets do better than others. So what I do is I look at the statistics for each tweet. And if I see a tweet underperforming, I replace it with another tweet. While if a tweet is doing very well, I may send out that tweet more often. So you want to post as consistently and frequently as possible so people see you often. They will remember you. They will eventually visit your profile on the social network, read your blog more often, and possibly subscribe and buy products. One of the first things many people do on social media is they give themselves an avatar, which is basically your profile picture. Out of all of the avatars you can use, the 2 best ones are either a picture of yourself or of your brand's logo. But when you are using all of these pictures on various social networks, it is very important to use a universal avatar on all of your social networks, just so that your Twitter followers will easily remember you by picture when they see you on Pinterest or when they see you on Facebook. We remember pictures a lot better than we remember text. In fact, the human brain can actually register an image and understand it 60,000 times faster than text. So by using a universal avatar, people will clearly remember who you are. And if they liked your tweets, they'll like your pins, they'll like your Facebook posts. But it all starts with that brand awareness and the ability for your audience to remember who you are as they go from social platform to social platform. One of the biggest misconceptions I hear about on social media is that you don't want to promote yourself too often and you should instead focus on sharing other people's content. Although I am a big advocate for sharing other people's content, this whole idea of not promoting yourself very often on your own social platform that you built from scratch, that doesn't make any sense to me. There's this 80-20 rule where 20% of it should be your content, 80% of it should be someone else's, but I reversed that rule so that most of the time I'm promoting my own content, because regardless of whose content you promote, whether you are exclusively promoting your own content or you are exclusively promoting other people's content, what your followers care about is the value that the content provides. So even if you only share your blog posts, if they all provide value, your followers will appreciate you for it. So just make sure that you're promoting yourself more often, but at the same time paying more attention to the value that you provide in each of your blog posts, each of your videos, and each of your products. One of the things that so many entrepreneurs do is that they will create numerous social media accounts and spread their time across all of them. This is one of the biggest mistakes to make on social media, especially in the beginning. And the best analogy I have for this is learning different languages. So let's take a few languages: Spanish, Italian, Japanese, Chinese, German. And how about there are two different ways you can learn them? You either master one at a time, so you would take Spanish, then German, or you learn all five at the same exact time. That means you're doing the conjugations in one language, reading the books in another language, speaking in a third language. I mean, that's a lot of work if you're trying to learn so many languages at the same time. But that's exactly what we do to ourselves when we create so many different social media accounts and we spread our time across all of them. I remember when I did that, I wasn't getting that many results from my social media strategy, but then I exclusively focused all of my time on Twitter and it has really paid off. I have over 200,000 Twitter followers now through all of my social media Twitter accounts combined. And ever since I mastered Twitter, I slowly started to expand into other social networks. That's why you're watching this YouTube video right now, because I slowly expanded into YouTube. And I also have over 20,000 Pinterest followers. The great thing about mastering social networks is that once you master one social network, it is that much easier for you to master all the other social networks out there. Because in reality, many of the social networks follow very similar patterns. I think this is one of the best ways to truly grow on social media, but there are very few people who actually write down where they want to be month by month. Many people like to say, oh, I just want to do this or do that. But if you are very specific with where you want to be month by month, you will have a goal to strive for. Many people who do not have goals to strive for on social media just take it one day at a time, not knowing what to do the very next moment that they are on social media. And that can really hurt an entrepreneur's ability to get the social media results that they are looking for. So when you write down all of these goals about where you want to be month by month, make sure that they are challenging, so they're not incredibly easy, but at the same time, they're not impossible. So you're not telling yourself go from 0 to 100,000 Twitter followers in 1 week. You're not going to give yourself something like that that's absolutely overwhelming, but give yourself goals that are challenging. And as you give yourself more goals, you will start to identify the difference between goals that are challenging and goals that are overwhelming. And when you identify where you want to be month by month, my recommendation is to go no further than 1 year. I know there are these 5-year plans and 3-year plans and all of those types of plans, but the further you spread out the distance between you starting from where you are to you going to somewhere where you want to be, that means less work on your part, because many people think, oh, I have 5 years to get from where I am now to where I want to be. So I could just not do anything today because I know I have over 1,500 days to go. And then that pattern continues, and then it hurts your overall development. So when you do identify where you want to be month by month, don't go further than 1 year. If you want to master something and be the best in a certain area, you have to show up every day, but also put in the work. I'm a big believer in the 10,000 hour rule, which basically states that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you will become one of the best in that certain area. You will have top level expertise, and social media is no different from that. If you spend 10,000 hours on social media, growing your audience, interacting, this isn't surfing social media and using it unproductively. I'm talking about using it productively. And if you do that for 10,000 hours, you'll learn so many different things about social media to a point where growing your audience and engaging with that audience and making connections will be effortless. You'll know how to do it inside out. You'll know all of the steps, because all great things, all of the great milestones, all of like the professional athletes and the top people in any niche, it all comes from practice. So find time in your schedule to make social media one of the top things you do every single day. While it is good to be on social media every day, you don't want it to take up too much of your time. So what I do in my social media strategy is I find ways to systematize certain processes or make certain processes not take up as much of my time. The simple 3-step formula I use to save time on social media is to identify something that is taking a lot of time, because you can't solve a problem without identifying the problem. Then take necessary steps to do research and implement that research to shorten the amount of time it takes you to do something, or to completely eliminate it, and then repeat the process for other things that are taking up time. So I did this for scheduling tweets. It used to take me an hour to manually schedule 50 tweets. Now I send over 100 tweets, which means it would take me over 2 hours to manually schedule all of those tweets. I bought Hootsuite Pro, $9.99 per month. I got access to the bulk scheduler, and now I can schedule the same number of tweets, over 100 tweets in just 6 clicks. So basically I went from doing something in 2 hours to doing something in less than 5 minutes. So it's really incredible how much time that saves. And that's just one of the strategies that I implemented. And of course, you want to have a very simple strategy. Simple strategy does not mean a sloppy strategy or a subpar strategy. Simple means an effective, easy to follow strategy, because simplicity is very powerful. If you create a complex strategy that is hard to understand and contains like thousands of different steps, you'll just overwhelm yourself. Simplicity is the easiest way to make yourself feel comfortable, but also challenge yourself if the strategy is effective. And finally, I know you've heard this a lot of times, maybe when you were a kid, maybe especially now, because social media requires a lot of patience. And there are a lot of bloggers who mention that you need to be patient in order to be successful on the web. And it is very true. The only way to become successful in any area is to be patient, because there's a saying that everyone starts at the bottom. And it is very true, because you don't know much when you first begin, but it's through doing research, it's through taking courses, it's through watching YouTube videos and reading articles and doing other things that you eventually come to become a very successful social media expert who knows a lot about how social media works. So the only way those results are going to come in your social media strategy is if you put in the work, but then put in the work over a long period of time. You can put in the work for one day. That's great. But if you're putting in the work consistently over months, quarters, years, then you are going to get the social media results that you have always dreamed of. So it is important to be patient, but at the same time, hustle. Because many people like to use that success is a marathon to say, oh, I could take the day off because I know it's not going to happen to me right away. But if you hustle, then you will get there faster. So be patient, but put in the work over a long period of time and put in a good amount of work so that you will get to your social media results quicker. Right now, I invite you to sound off in the comment section about this video. And if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get 2 videos every single week, just like this one, either on digital marketing or motivation. That is all for this video. I hope it has served you, and what I want you to do is to dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today.